The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We're going to start out with the DAX. As you can see, had a little bit of a pop this morning. That was really early in the morning. I don't know if it gave it up or not, but at least it started in the right direction. If we take a look here, remember, folks, everybody gets the day off except those in other countries on Monday. It's President's Day, so the rest of these markets will be closed. They'll be trading Globex, of course. So I'm expecting some pretty big things happening with this, so we'll have to pay at least close attention to it on Sunday night to see what's going on. A lot of things happening, folks. I really believe that we're going to see a really bad down week on Monday. The reason for that is not going to change very much unless the Dow's up 300 points today, which I don't expect that to be, but I get fooled a lot. But I looked at some of these things last night, and gee whiz, they look very, very ominous. So I'd be really careful being long, but what do I know? We'll see. Hey, we've got something to look at, folks. There's two things here that we've been watching for quite some time. This one comes from our good friends across the pond again. Happens to be the chart of the natural gas. We've already looked at this on the weekly basis. What's important about this, folks, is that we went down and made another low like we did on February the 7th. We took that low out by just another 10 cents. Then we rallied a little bit. Now, whether this ABCD is going to mean anything, it is a double bottom and it is a butterfly pattern, but whether it gets any gusto from here, we'll have to wait and see. So that's one of the things that we have on our watch list that I think will be very, very important. Okay, now we've got to look at one that's really key, really something we don't trade. Well, I don't trade. A lot of you folks might, but we're all involved with this product, that's for sure, and that is the cotton, the fluff. I want to show you the daily chart here on the cotton. As you can see here, it trades extremely well, and it's electronic traded, so it's not like the old days when I was involved with it, but you can see all the multiple ABCD patterns that were happening when it was making a high up there at 96 bucks a pound. Now we're trading at around 71.50 a pound, and nobody wants it. But this is the important thing to look at. As you look at this, you can see the potential for a double bottom here in cotton between January and where we are right now. Now, the one thing when you see something like that and you're looking at these charts, I would highly recommend you go out to a little bit bigger time frame, like to take a look at the weekly, because if you look at the weekly, you're going to see a much clearer picture of where we are with cotton, the fluff right now. So just take a look at this long-term weekly chart. You can see the big ABCD pattern that happened in 2018. That's where we're up around 90, 96. That was also making a double top to 2014. You can see that by that 98% level at the very high level. But look at where we are right now. You see the double bottom that we have potentially forming right at the 61% retracement. Go back to June and July and August of 2017, and you'll see the exact same pattern, making a double bottom right at the 61, very, very close to the 61.8% level. This is incredibly important in cotton. I will not be trading this, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because it's a beautiful technical pattern, and it's certainly tradable. And if you want to, you can certainly do it. Each penny in cotton is worth $500, so I think you could trade it for probably 2 cents, which is $1,000. That's a $70,000 contract for $1,000. That's not too bad. Anyway, that's a real interesting pattern that you might want to pay very, very close attention to. By the way, we will have Tim Boss, the Financial Cycles Weekly, as our guest. He's got some knockout charts, folks. He really does. He's going to update some of the ones that he gave us a month or so ago when he was on. And Tim is looking for something very, very big in the markets here, which I'm sure most of you would be happy to take a look at. Let's move on to the euro, folks. If you'll remember, we were talking about the euro, the fact that we were getting down to this really, really critical level here in the euro, which was right around that 1225 level. You'll notice that's the big ABCD pattern. Believe it or not, boys and girls, we hit it this morning just a little while ago. We went right down to that level, and it looks like this is going to be the big test that we've been waiting to see if, in fact, it is going to happen. Now, I'm not sure whether it's going to happen or not, but it's right on the money here. And coming into a weekend, well, if we close badly today in the euro below that 112 level, that's going to signal that the U.S. dollar is breaking out, which we talked about every day this week. Now, that's at that 97.50 level. And if we get above that, folks, that's going to be a really bullish sign for the U.S. dollar, i.e. bearish for the euro. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, but that's what the charts are telling us. When I look at some of these charts on the stock indices, they're flat out scary as far as wanting to be long in here. And I know there's somebody out there on the internet, I don't know who it was, but two people asked me about it. I had no idea what they were talking about until Rich Anderson reminded me, and that was that I might even be Tom DeMark, I'm not sure. But he's talking about the scenario that is very similar to what happened in 1973. You know, they're going back, what, 46 years ago. And if you see that, you'll see that there is a similarity. But you're going to see those analog years a lot, folks, because the markets can only do three things, up, down, and sideways. So, you know, I really don't know. I try to, you know, get a little closer in time than, you know, 1973, but that's certainly very, very important time in my life, of course. But it was really, you know, I don't think it has anything to do with what's going on. If that pattern repeats, it's just because it's a coincidence, in my opinion. But remember, that's my opinion, and it's off, you know, it's wrong quite a bit. Let's look at that dollar index, what we were talking about here, because we have popped up here. Again, we're getting ready to move back above this level of 97. That actual level we're looking at is 97.72, and I believe we're trading above 97 here this morning. So we'll see if it pops above there, because on the long term, there's a lot of work to do this weekend on these currency, folks, because we're at critical levels in every single currency: the Canadian dollar, the British pound, the Australian dollar, every single one of them. The euro, the yen. The yen was just an absolute beautiful trade yesterday. We posted that in the room, and I don't know if you folks made any attempt to do that one, but that was another one that looked really, really nice up there near that 111 area. We got all the way down to 110.10 this morning. That was a drop of just about $900. Now, whether it's going to continue going down or not, I don't know. But all of these currencies are just lined up, just like you can't even believe. It's just it's really amazing. So we'll be watching those. The currencies are the big watch, along with the stock index futures. And I still believe the bonds are going lower, not higher, but I'm the only person in the world that believes that. There's one other person out there in Kathmandu, but he can't get data, so he's not involved in the markets at any one time. When we get back, I want to post a chart here. I'm not going to discuss it because it's a little far away from what we want to look at, but it's the Christmas wheat. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner is the most revolutionary piece of trading software that you will ever try. Wouldn't you like to approach the markets with confidence? As you begin your trading day, it's likely that you'll be faced with lots of decisions. In order to make the best decision, the first thing you'll need is a strategy that will help you minimize your risks. Whether we're in a bull or bear market, a good strategy is to have the tools needed to help you scan and analyze the markets before you trade. The TAS Profile Scanner instantly scans and filters over 2,500 global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, president of TAS Market Profile, the TAS Profile Scanner understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications, automated trading algorithms, and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. Whether you're looking at the trade matrix, the ETF heat grid, the market breadth, the landscape charts, or the many other features of the TAS Profile Scanner, this is a piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the markets and set up your trades. The team at TAS has even put together a 12-part video series to walk you through every aspect of the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find directly on the TAS order page at TFNN.com. Sign up now for only $97 a month with a risk-free 30-day trial, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See for yourself how you can harness the full power of the TAS Profile Scanner by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services section. Remember, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Don't let another day pass you by without trying out this amazing piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the market and how you place trades. Sign up today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, before we get to Tim Boss, I got a little human interest story going back to history of OLP through these years. 1970, I was working for Eli Lilly. I started in 65. I was in California, and there was a big medical meeting in Palm Springs of all the major cardiac surgeons in the United States and actually all the world. And they were honoring a gentleman from Louisiana at the Ochsner Clinic, John Ochsner, who's one of the famous heart surgeons, and they asked me to go down and see if I could meet with him and see if we could put some of our cephalosporin antibiotics into his program. But John Ochsner did not like the drug companies at all, but they were putting on this big brouhaha down in Palm Springs at one of the lovely resorts. It was a 4-day event and started on Thursday, ended on Sunday, where they were going to honor him at a dinner. I finally got to have a cup of coffee with him on Friday morning around 10 o'clock at one of the breaks. One of the doctors from Lilly told me to say hello to him, and so I went up and said hello to that. And, I didn't talk to him about anything. And there was a big golf event, later on, and I asked him if he was going to play golf. And, I said, he said, no, he said, I don't like to play golf. He was dressed, he had suspenders, a little bow tie, a little mustache, typical Southern guy, Southern gentleman. And he asked me, are you going to play golf? And I said, no, not me. I said, I'm going to L.A. to play poker. He said, play poker? He said, are you kidding? I said, no. I said, there's several casinos there. We have really great poker there. He said, well, could I ride up with you? And I said, sure. I said, when do you want to go? He said, let's go now. I said, well, I got to do a little bit of work here. He said, well, how about 2 hours? So around Friday afternoon, around 2 o'clock, I took him up to the Bicycle Club in Commerce, California, and we started to play. And we played and we played and we played. I mean, he was at a different table. He was playing a different game called Omaha, which was really tough. Just for old people like to play it, but it's very, very high risk and a lot of gambling. Anyway, I would go into the room and check on him once in a while. And finally, it got to be about midnight. And so we've been playing about 10 hours. And he said, well, let's play a little longer. And I said, well, if we're going to play a little longer, we might as well play all night. And he said, that's okay with me. So we played all night. It got to be 8, 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and he wanted to play a little bit more. And he'd been losing. He was down. I don't know how much he was down. Probably close to $1,000. And it was about 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and then he kept playing. And around noon, I went and checked on him. Now he was winning. And we finally got to be about 4 o'clock, and I had to have him back there because he was a guest of honor on Saturday night. And so I finally got him out of there, and we chatted. Nothing about anything other than poker and family. His son was at USC in a residency in orthopedic surgery. He came over to have dinner with him, and so that was a little bit of a fun too. But we finally got him back and got to the meeting and everything, and the thing went okay. Sunday I drive back to Westlake Village, and on Monday morning, I get a phone call from Indianapolis. And when you got a phone call from Indianapolis with Eli Lilly, that was usually the last thing that you get to talk to at Lilly. In other words, that was your swan song. And I said, oh boy. Well, I was ready to do trading anyway. So I said, okay. And so I got on a plane and I got there Tuesday morning, and I had a meeting at like 11 o'clock. I got there about 10 to visit some of my friends there at Lilly, and I went up to the room, and the 4th floor is the area where we worked at Lilly, but I was scheduled to be on the 8th floor, and there's only 9 floors in that building. And when you got to the 8th floor, you were in the high rent district. And I walk in there, and there's 4 major executives. There's a director of medicine who put me there in Palm Springs, and then there were a couple of guys from the corporate directors level, and then there was one guy from human resources. So I knew that this was over for me. I figured it was done. And the guy started the question, and he said, "What did you do with John Eichner in Palm Springs?" And I knew I was dead, so I said, "Well, I'm going to tell the truth." I said, "Well, I played poker with him for about 24 hours." And the guy looked at me and said, "You did what?" And I said, "I played poker with him for about 24 hours on Saturday." I said, "That was my work day, or my off day." So I figured he wanted to do it. And, I didn't want to play golf, so he wanted to play poker. So we played poker. And he says, "What'd you talk about?" And I said, "Poker and his family and my family and stuff like that." And he said, "Well," and I'm thinking, well, this is it. And he said, "Well, I don't know what you did." He said, "But he signed the largest contract we've ever had." And so we got the cephalosporin antibiotics into Ochsner Clinic there, and never heard from him again or nothing, but it made my career. 2 months later, I was transferred back to Indianapolis on a promotion, and that lasted about 1.5 years until I wanted to go back out to California. I couldn't stand those cold winters. Anyway, so the old, what my old grandma used to say, if you tell the truth at 10, you don't have to remember what you talked about at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's what it was. The reason why I tell you about this story, folks, was last week, Kelly, the gentleman who made the phone call to get me to go to Palm Springs, his wife passed away at 93. I think it was the 2nd of February. And last night, Kelly passed away. He was 94. And he died within 10 days of his wife, 2 weeks of his wife passing. But very, very old friend, and it was kind of sad, but known him, almost 55 years, I guess. Anyway, let's move on to some of these other markets. I know that's what you're interested in, and I only got 2 more minutes to do this thing that we're watching here today. Folks, pay really close attention to these stocks, because what you're seeing now is my opinion, of course, but we'll see what happens on Tuesday, because that's going to be a really, really big day. I'm expecting a big down day on Tuesday in stocks, and whether that happens or not, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, let's move on to the one thing that I did want to cover here, and that is, we're almost at the 78% level, folks, in the E-mini. That comes in at the 20. What was that number we were looking at? I think it comes in around 2790. Let's get this up here so you can see where we are right now. You'll be able to see that we're getting really close up in that area. That strong resistance that was 2710 lasted about a day and a half. And now we're heading up to these other levels here. The old high we had back in December the 3rd was, right at that 2820 level. This is the S&P, and the other one is the NASDAQ, and the other one is the Dow Jones. But the real market, folks, is the New York Stock Exchange Index, and that's the one you've got to pay attention to. Remember, my bearishness that started back on September the 1st and October the 1st was based on the relationships of the banking index and how bad it looked compared to the rest of the market. And the bottom that it came in was a relationship of the banking index and the New York Stock Exchange Index and how it all lined up. That lines up right now. So I don't know how high we're going to get in this thing, but you got to be really careful in here, folks. We've been up for 34, 35 days, and that's a very unusual event in itself, with virtually no, and not only that, but it's climbed a wall of worry. I mean, the auto sales are not good. Retail sales were horrible. The trade negotiations don't look like they're going on. Brexit looks like it wants to fail. So you got to ask yourself, what does all this stuff mean? So I'm just looking at the charts, whether that means anything or not. I don't know, but stay tuned, because it's going to be rocking and rolling next week. We're going to see some really big things happening. It might be related to this euro, whether this euro can hold this 112.20. We've already rallied 60 pips off that bottom already this morning, so that in fact is a pretty good sign. But we're real critical levels in everything, so we want to stay tuned to Tim Boss. He's always entertaining, has some great information. Financial Cycles Weekly, Sarasota, Florida. We'll be right back.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we're talking with Tim Bost of Financial Cycles Weekly out of Sarasota, Florida. Tim, are you there?
I am indeed, Larry. How are you this morning?
I'm okay. I want to tell you, pal, you caused me more trouble than any of the guests that I have.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you gave this, I posted this forecast that you gave us about 5 weeks ago when we were making a bottom down there on December 26th, and every single day they're saying, where is Tim? Where is Tim? Where's the next date? Where's the next date? I will tell you, it's like the restaurant business. So if you have one bad meal or a little cold soup or something, you don't get invited back.
I hear you.
No, I was just joking, but
we'll try to keep the soup warm then today. How about that?
Kidding. Honestly though, Tim, I mean, this is really an amazing, amazing forecast. I mean, you had it mapped out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we are at 5. And it's really, lining up exactly what's happening now. I have a couple questions here. The first question comes from me, and that is, I don't know what that number 5 thing is. Is that some kind of that Adidamus or whatever it is? I'm not even sure what that is. But remember, I am not I'm not a financial astrologer by any stretch of the imagination. So, can you explain to us what that is?
It's called Admetos, and this is what we refer to as one of the trans-Neptunian factors. It's actually a Kuiper belt object outside the orbit of Pluto, and we track some of these. There are 8 of them that we pay attention to in terms of their orbits, and they seem to have an impact on longer-term socioeconomic trends and things of that sort. So we pay attention, especially to those times when they, from the Earth's perspective, seem to start forward or backward motion, and that's what happened here day before yesterday. Admetos made a direct station. It had been in retrograde motion, and it began moving forward again, which gives it a little extra emphasis. And that was one of the things that we were watching as a potential flag for a trading top. It's very interesting because that happened, that direct station at 0 degrees of the sign of Gemini in the zodiac, and then we got this super moon coming up on Monday, which will be a sun-moon alignment at 0 degrees of Virgo and Pisces. So it's forming an exact 90-degree configuration with that Admetos station. That's one of the things we're looking at to give this particular time frame some extra power as a potential trading top.
Okay, now that leads to the second question that someone's asking. The red line that you have, the forecast, is that some type of a Bradley market line that you're looking at, where you compile different cycles together?
Yeah, it's a modified Bradley. We have several different cycle projection models that we use and kind of tweak some of Donald Bradley's work. He pioneered that back in the 1940s, looking at planetary configurations and market trends. And so we have modified that in a couple different ways, and then add some of our own indicators as well there.
Okay. And what indicators are these proprietary, or can you share?
Well, some of them are, but a lot of it is based on eclipse studies. And one of the things that Bradley did not include in his work were those trans-Neptunian factors like Admetos. So we pay attention to those as well. So it's kind of an expansion of his work, and we do a good bit of analysis of the resonant fields set up by solar eclipses, and they can add a lot of extra energy. That was a factor that Bradley did not include in his model per se.
Okay, now one other question. One of our listeners that must know something about astrology, he asked if this was related to Uranian astrology.
The Uranian astrology refers to a type of symmetrical astrological studies that does incorporate those trans-Neptunian factors. So it is popularly known as Uranian astrology. Listeners, right on the money there.
Well, I know Bill Meridian was our guest. He was our guest yesterday, and I know he uses Uranian astrology. And you're the only 2 guys that I know that use that. So tell them the main difference, folks. But tell the folks what the main difference is between the classical astrology that we're looking at with this super full moon and the Uranian astrology. What is the largest difference there?
Well, the biggest difference is that Uranian astrology relies on symmetrical arrangements of planetary bodies to determine the impact of them rather than the classical list of specific angular relationships. We call those in traditional astrology the aspects. So we talk about a square being a 90-degree angle, a trine a 120-degree angle. These go back to the 2nd century AD with the work of Claudius Ptolemy, and so that's part of the long-term astrological tradition. What Uranian astrology does is say, look, we're looking at symmetry in planetary patterns, and the specific angles are less important than the symmetrical arrangements.
I understand. Well, the final question that we have, and then we'll go on to ask you what you're seeing next. But the question is, have you done a lot of work with WD Gann?
Yes, we studied GAN and try to incorporate the techniques that we find applicable today. Again, GAN did not use the Uranian factors, the trans-Neptunian factors in his work. So we're not trying to duplicate GAN's analysis, but take a great deal of inspiration from his work. Especially his work with harmonics. He liked to use the square of 9 and the 24-degree dial and things of that sort, which are all harmonic alignments, and they're a very, very big part of the work that we do here as well.
Yeah, in fact, I think he lived down there. He died down there in West Palm Beach back in 1954. I believe that's where he passed away. He was down there in your area.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. And,
yeah. Okay. Now, one other question that I want to ask you, and this is the real interesting one because I'll post it so the folks can see it, because you're nice enough to show in the future what you're looking at here. You've got 2 different cycle models there. The one we've already talked about, but what is this larger one that you're looking at here that shows February, March, and April, that type of thing? It looks a little different than the one on the left.
Right, and here we were working with a different set of planetary factors. We're constantly experimenting to see what cycle models work best with the markets. And the interesting part about this, we're looking at these specific dates, the February 18th as being a potential turning point there, and that corresponds, of course, on the 18th with its Chiron entering the sign of Aries on the eve of that supermoon alignment. So it's a very, very powerful dynamic there. And we believe that's going to add some extra pressure, everything that we've been seeing building up to this point. And of course, the markets are closed on February 18th, so we may see the action beginning on Tuesday when the markets reopen. But the interesting thing here is that March 6th date on that right-hand side with that larger scale model there, that is when the planet Uranus enters the sign of Taurus. And this is a pretty significant move. Uranus has an 84-year-long cycle, so this is a longer wave dynamic that we think could, as an alternative model, nail a trading bottom for us here. So basically, we're looking at this period then, with our original projection moving downward into about the 5th of April. This alternate model says, well, we may find at least a trading bottom here around the 6th of March. So we'll be watching that date very closely.
Hey, Tim, stay with us here. We have a break coming up, and then we want to talk to you about your free seminar you got.
Okay, will do.
We'll be right back, folks. Tim Bost, Financial Cycles Weekly.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. 9190.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back and we're talking with Tim Boss, the Financial Cycles Weekly. Tim, tell the folks about your free webinar, and that comes with a money-back guarantee, I recall,
yeah,
right?
That's right. You know, join us for free. If you don't like it, we'll give you double your property back. How's that?
Fine. You know, one of our listeners said they wondered if you had been a preacher, and I said because your voice is so distinct and everything, and that you do a really good job with it. And I said, well, I don't think so, but I know you're just a super nice guy and very, very normal. So if you do start preaching, keep it at a very low level, okay?
Okay, right. We'll try to keep things under control here a little bit, not get too carried away. At any rate, with our session on Monday, and we planned this on Monday, Larry, because the markets are closed, and we wanted to be able to take a little extra time to get a little more in depth with this particular presentation. And you had sent me an email asking if it's going to be recorded. We will record that. So if you want to access the recording, go ahead and register for the live event, and then we will send everybody a link to the recording after the fact. So if you can't join us live for that, so that will go out sometime Monday evening. At any rate, what we're looking at here is what's working now in Astro-trading, and of course our whole methodology here does incorporate the Astro-trading dynamics into our work with the markets, but there's some very basic trading procedures that we'll be outlining during the session that we found that we can kind of get a turbocharged effect with if we add the Astro-trading dynamic, and that's what the webinar is really all about.
Wow, and it's coming at a time when you got these super full moons and all this other stuff coming together. That'll be pretty exciting, I would think.
Yeah, if I'm not intense enough as a preacher, then the astrological factors will make up for it. How's that?
Oh, I better be careful here. I'm liable to say something I'm going to get blackballed for, so I'll just move on to the next.
Yeah, we do have a family audience here, right? Okay.
Yes, this is true. This is true. It would be nothing risque. It'd just be something that someone might not like the answer to. Listen, Tim, tell us about the gold market. I know you like gold because we've chatted about it before. What's your feeling here? Are we getting ready to break out again?
Yes, I believe we are. I'm increasingly bullish, or remain long-term bullish with gold. We recently moved from a sell signal to a buy signal. This was about 30 days ago, and it looks like that's going to hold quite strongly here with gold, and especially if we can deal with times of domestic or international crisis, then that tends to be very favorable at a fundamental level for the gold bugs, and so we may be seeing some of that in the works here. Who knows?
Well, that's true. Tim, I wanted to ask you one more thing. If you'd be kind enough to repeat the where you can go for your HTTP, where you can sign up. It's HTTP semicolon. And why don't you repeat it so the folks can that are listening? Yeah.
Semicolon. It is bit.ly slash. And I don't have it in front of me here.
Astro now. Does that
Astro now? And Astro is in lowercase, and now is NOW is uppercase. So it's important to get that. It's a case-sensitive link there. It's a short link that goes that. So lowercase ASTRO, and then uppercase NOW.
Okay. Now, one other question that someone's asking is, do you have a set time for this that it's going to last 45 minutes, an hour, or is it open-ended?
Yeah, it's a little bit open-ended. We will go about an hour and 15 minutes is what I've scheduled for it. We're starting at 11 a.m. Eastern on Monday. We may run a little bit over, but again, that depends on the questions that people ask. We have a live chat room open during the webinar so people can get questions asked and answered. And if we get an extended conversation going, then we will kind of keep the doors open and make sure everybody gets their questions answered.
Well, that's really great. That's terrific. I can't go wrong with the price, that's for sure. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for being on, and hopefully some of these dates that you've got up here will work, and we'll have you on again this year. No, we're going to have you on again no matter what, because I'll tell you, I'm not joking when I say that I got something every day as where is Tim. I mean, it's that's a real feather in your cap, because there's.
Well, we'll try to keep the soup warm in the meantime.
Yeah,
how's that?
That's right. That's right. No wilted salad at this end, that's for sure.
I hope not.
Hey, listen, thanks for joining us, Tim, and may God bless. And I hope to get down there to see you this summer. And
that would be great.
Maybe have
and thank you, Larry. I always appreciate the time with you, and you have a great holiday break, and good luck with your ventures in Phoenix. So hope that goes well for you.
Listen, thanks a lot, Tim. I really appreciate it, buddy.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
You bet. Okay, folks, that was Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. I don't know if it's going to work like the other one did, but my goodness, it certainly brings an interesting thing to look at. And if you have an interest in astrology, we're going to see if this is in fact going to be some type of a major top coming in here with this super full moon and stuff. We're almost to that magical 2780 level, which was the ABCD pattern that Steve Rhodes, I believe, pointed out more than a week ago, as I recall. I don't know if I still have it listed here. I don't know if I do or no. I don't have it. Shut the front door and raise. Wait a minute. Here it is. Thank you, Steve. I knew I still had it. Get it up here. We'll take a look at it. Here we are. And that number comes in at 2786. 2786 is what we're looking at for that ABCD that started on, way back on January the 27th, and we ran up above the 78%, pulled back to just a little above the 38% level, and now that ABCD comes near that old high that we had back on December the 10th. So, boy, this thing has not had hardly any correction other than that 382 we had down there on January 3rd, coming off of that monster bottom. Hey, folks, people ask me, could this thing make a new high? Absolutely, it could make a new high. But it's got to get through some real serious stuff here today, and this is going to be the real interesting point to watch, because if we close really, really strong today, the Dow up, 300 and the S&P above 2,800, this is going to be, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting no matter what happens, but keep an eye on this, because it's going to be really important to watch how this stuff actually unfolds here through these particular times. I am going to, fact is, Mr. Bill, you're asking about Dr. Al Larson and Moontides. The next thing I'm going to do after we hang up today is call Dr. Al. He and I are the same age, and we're very, very good friends. He is, in fact, one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. and he will be he's helping me with a sleep problem. He and I both are insomniacs, and he said he's finally found something that helps him sleep. So I'm anxious to find out what that is. Anyway, let's keep talking here a little bit. The Euro's had a really strong rally off of that bottom, folks, at that 112.25 level. That really pretty much completes that. That's what I'm going to be doing. I don't know anything about that, Bill, but I'm going to be trying that too. Let me tell you a funny story about Dr. Al. I met him, oh my God, I met him 40 years ago. And no, you're not going to get me on a sailboat. Forget about that. But this was in 1990. I bought two 22-inch monitors. This is when they were selling for like $5,000. I bought them at the Comdex show in Las Vegas. And Al told me to put these little tiny electromagnetic things on each corner, up in the upper top and left to right corner. And he said it would make it last. Folks, that monitor that I bought is still working. Yeah, honest to God, it's been 30 years and it still works. I gave it away, but I know that it's still working. But unbelievable. It's one of those big 100-pound jobs, and it's still got beautiful color and everything, so who knows. Hey, we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get the competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I posted a chart of that dollar index on a weekly basis. You can see that head and shoulders pattern. That thing is getting ready to break out to the upside, folks. And you can talk all you want about stocks. You can talk all you want about bonds. But most of this money that moves around is in foreign exchange. And let me tell you, if that dollar gets really strong, that's going to cause problems everywhere. So let's pay attention to that one. That's the really big one. Anything above 98 in that dollar index, that euro is heading to 108. And I don't know if it's going to be related to Brexit or Frexit or Dexit. Something big is going to be happening in these currencies. And we're seeing it in a lot of different things, too. We're seeing it in the Japanese yen that we looked at yesterday. That's been a big move. And we're also looking at the Canadian dollar, which has been, really a good one. So just pay attention to these, because these things, when they move, these currencies, that's where the money is. And as Woodward and Bernstein said, follow the money. So going to be interesting no matter what. Remember, the number we're looking at here in the S&P on that ABCD, I believe, is 2784, 2786 is what Steve Rhodes posted the other day, and I think that's what it is, pretty close. But watch that very closely. And again, we'll keep an eye on what Tim Bost has to show us here over the next few days with this super moon coming up. Remember, this super moon that we have is going to be, really, really an interesting one. And also that's when we have the moon's going to be at perigee, where it's as close to the Earth. When we had the new moon back in on the 4th of February, that was when we had apogee. So we'll be keeping an eye on this real strong cycle stuff over the weekend. And the main thing is to have a wonderful weekend and a great holiday. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless, and try to do something nice for somebody that doesn't have as much as you, and that's just about everybody. So keep the faith, boys and girls, and may God bless.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. TFNN has put together the best lineup of live content for traders by traders every market day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected minds in the business. TFNN broadcasts 5 days a week live from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We have live programming every market day during market hours. Every morning, Larry Pesavento kicks off the trading day live at 9 a.m. and breaks down the opening bell with Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the TFNN Bull Bear Trading Hour, followed at 11 a.m. by the team at TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim with Fast Market. Basil Chapman hosts the Tiger Technicians Hour at noon, Steve Rhodes at 1 p.m. with the Trader's Edge, Dave White at 2 p.m. with the Power Trading Hour, and Tom O'Brien anchors the daily lineup from 3 till 5 as host of the Tom O'Brien Show. Tune in to TFNN's Tiger TV on your computer or mobile device, and you can always find us streaming on YouTube. TFNN.com, educating investors.
This is TFNN, the Tiger Financial News Network. TFNN Headline News Update. Here's Tom O'Brien.
The Dow Industrial slows down 104, NASDAQ up 6, S&P's down 3. Bottom line, folks, you really get a flat market. That's how this kind of is shaken out. Volatility, we had it in spades out here. There's no doubt about that. If you take a look at the E-minis, some nice moves out here intraday. You're talking about Blink, and the S&Ps are up or down 20 bucks. And if we take a look at this intraday, what you're going to see out here, bottom line, we start out the day at 27.60. Market dives down into 27.30. Does a nice spike all the way back up to 27.58, and we're laying out here at 27.45. The NQs are the ones you really want to keep your eye on. The reason being, folks, is this, is that we've had divergence now 3 days inside the NQs. Very subtle, but the bottom line, they were the strongest indice. Now they just can't handle price. What you have with the NQs, now they're up to $11. They had been up as high as $7,055. There was a low as